if there was a podcast where one NFL legend talked about football? What about two NFL legends, huh? What about three? This is Wideout's World, where the gridiron comes alive. NFL legends Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Three NFL legends breaking down the game from the ultimate insider perspective. Game recaps, upcoming previews, and exclusive analysis straight from the minds of those who've been in the trenches. Wideout's World. Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Sound drunk.
Hey. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Wideout's World. I am Fred Barnett with my two co-hosts, Michael Timpson and the Irving Fryar. Welcome back to another Wednesday to talk some wideouts, to talk some football, guys. It was an interesting week, I tell you. There were a lot of things going on. And I know this is going to be a great show because there's so much stuff that went on. It's just comical to me of everything that went on. But before we go any further, let me say this. First of all ask Irv, how's your mother doing? We hope she's doing okay. We know that there were some complications.
Thank you.
She's doing okay now.
Yes, she is home, and she is on the mend. Let me say it that way. She's not quite back to 100%, meaning where she was physically, emotionally before she had to be admitted to the hospital, but she is on the mend. She's probably going to be on tonight, knowing her. Yes, she's probably going to show up tonight.
Come on, Mama.
Everybody can say hi. But my sister Hope Wiley is on, and she came up from Texas to help out with Mom while she was in the hospital in a few days after she got out of the hospital. Holly Golightly. Is that how you say that? I'm sorry. She said, I'm on. She said, I'm on, baby. Go lightly.
Okay. Is that her real name? Is that her stage? What is that?
I don't know. Here it is. Let me throw it up on the stage, on the screen. Y'all can see it.
Well, welcome. Well, welcome, Miss Go Lightly. Welcome.
Go lightly. Go lightly. Y'all see that?
Go lightly.
Holly, go lightly. Is that right? I don't know. I think I pronounced it right. Sean Worth, what's going on? Billy Bell's in the house.
Go lightly.
And Sean Worth said, happy Thanksgiving to you all. Sean Worth said,
happy Thanksgiving.
He also said OGs, like we were talking about earlier. We all had our glasses on. We all old men, got gray beards. All three of us.
I'll put mine back on in a minute.
You need to just go on and shave the rest of your hair off too, Mike. Go on, shave it off, man, and join the club.
Mm-hmm.
Stop fighting it.
No.
I color this thing so I can look intelligent.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Why what?
It's the hair club. It's always the bald head guys that want everybody else that got hair to cut their hair off. Y'all sound like my brothers. I ain't cutting.
No.
When it's time to go, it'll go.
Listen, here's what I used to do.
I don't have to rush.
See, because you had a
Jerry curl, you had a bad Jerry curl.
No, that ain't what it was. I never had a Jerry curl. I had an S curl. There's a difference between Jerry curl and S curl.
My bad.
S curl's a texturizer. So it's a texturizer. So what I used to do, and see what I did was, Fred, I shaved my hair off the top of my head before people were saying to me, when you gonna shave your hair off your head? Don't you think it's time to shave your hair off your head? When I shaved mine off, I shaved it off, and they said, "Well, why you shave your hair off your head?" Because I used to take these four fingers and measure from my eyebrows to the edge of my hair, and when it didn't touch no more, I was like, "Whoop, time to go. I got to shave."
You need therapy. You need therapy. Man.
That's when I shaved it off. I just shaved it off. I came downstairs. My whole family was like, "What in the world?" So when my four fingers didn't touch my hairline anymore from my eyebrow to, that's a forehead. Any more than a forehead, you need to shave it off.
Therapy.
That's what I did. That's serious. That's honest business right there.
Your hairline was playing running back.
Yep.
It was running back.
It was doing a farewell tour.
Boy,
Oh, now,
y'all
now
something else.
you want to hear something? Now, I shaved my hair before my hair was leaving. So I'm just like, oh, it looks cool. So I shave it. And
Oh,
one
okay.
day I decided to grow it back. And I'm like, oh, it's not coming back. So
Okay.
I
We got
missed it leaving.
an explanation here. My mother's on. She said, "I'm here, guys." Hey, mama.
There we
All
go.
right.
There we go.
She's on. I told you she'd be on. So Holly,
All right.
go lightly. You know what? She said it's Audrey Hepburn's character in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Her name, she says, I'm Kristen. Kristen. Okay, Kristen. Okay.
What's
Thank
up,
you.
Kristen?
We don't know who Holly Go Lightly is.
All right.
We appreciate
happy
you
to have
explaining
you.
it though.
News.
Yeah, we appreciate you explaining it.
So we-
Erlene Barnett is on as
Let me-
also.
Mom in the house.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's start rolling, guys.
Holly-
we're gonna roll with the
Holly, I'm not
interview.
putting that up,
Mike?
Holly. Holly, I'm not
said?
putting that up, Holly. Holly being fresh.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Y'all see that?
This is a family
I see
show,
it.
Holly. This is a family show.
Family show, Holly. Thank goodness.
Holly
we
said,
can't
"Not
see
anymore."
all of that.
Holly said, "Ain't family show no more." Holly, don't go
Yeah, we
anywhere.
need
Stick
some-
around.
We need some listeners. Okay, we got in the news. We got our top wide out. We got a surprise. And we got game of the week, which will be interesting, I think. And of course, we got our Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night games. So
Wait a minute. Don't we have news of the
Let
week
me-
as well?
and I just said that. In the listen
Say
up,
again?
buddy.
He said that.
Oh, he did.
Listen up. I just said that.
I didn't
said
hear
that.
it.
All right, here we go. Let me see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know what I thought about you guys this week rather. Now, Mike, what position did you play, Z or X?
All of us played every position. I played all the positions, just like all you guys did.
I asked you a question, Mike. You play Z or X?
I played both. I played both,
played
and
both.
also the slot, and also slot.
Okay, well, I was mostly an X, and I saw Irv a lot in the slot. So Irv used to work the heck out of the slot. So I thought
But
about, man, what if
I
we
played
all
all.
played
I played
together?
them all though. X, Y, and Z.
I was thinking about what if all three of us was on the field at the same time. But I'm more of an X guy. I just rolled down.
Well,
the
if
field.
it
All right,
was
let's-
if it was the three of us playing right now, you would be the X, Fred. Mike
I'd be
would
the X, yeah,
Mike would be the Z, and I would be the Y. I'd be the slot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all
That's
fat
what
both.
coach just told you.
That's how it be. I give me all the wiggle in the middle of the field.
Yeah. Mike, what do
Yes,
we
sir.
have in the news, brother?
Man, boy, I tell
We
you.
have
Okay,
in the news.
so
I'm wondering if we
so
got the
here's
same thing. Go ahead.
so no, we don't. You're not even think about this one. Okay, so the news for me was this week was the Giants. And all what went on with Jones.
Yes, we do.
You didn't have that one, did you, Fred? Did you have that
Yes,
one?
I did.
Okay. Did you really?
But
Okay.
go ahead.
So let me put my cheaters on. Okay. Now here's the deal. All right. So here's my thing. Daniel Jones. Okay. Now remember he was paid and then released. Now the number was he was paid $160 million for 4 years. They gave him the contract and did not give Saquon Barkley the contract. Because obviously,
Yeah.
but see, the way it transpired, they benched him because they didn't want to risk injury that would have triggered an injury guarantee for 2025. Okay.
Yep.
And then they eventually let him go. Today, consequently,
He asked to be let
signed-
go. He asked to be let go.
Well, it's two different versions of that, but that's okay. So today he signed with Minnesota, and they're going to pay him like $325,000 to finish out the year. Here's the thing that I want to bring to someone's attention. Do you remember a year ago when the running backs had issues getting signed? Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. Now remember these names: Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry. They were looking for big contracts, and people wouldn't pay them. And these are all running backs that are doing fairly well on other teams.
On the other, they all went to other
Yeah.
teams. Yep.
all went to other teams.
Yep.
So I started thinking about that, particularly the day that Saquon Barkley had, and then it flashed back to this whole thing with Daniel Jones and the running backs not getting paid. Do you think that's changing now? Because for that hot minute, no one wanted to pay the running backs. But now you're seeing the value come back with the Derrick Henrys and the Saquon Barkleys. Is things changing a little bit? So I kind of hit on two things there. The Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
they paid him that type of money, and then the running back situation that's kind of flipped. So those are the kind of news things this week that kind of just perked my interest and wanted to get you guys' opinion on that.
But I think why people are seeing the running backs this season in a different light is because most of those running backs, why they're doing better than they were on the team prior that didn't want to pay them, have gone to better teams. Obviously, Derrick Henry's on a better team with the Ravens. Saquon Barkley is on a better team, and now we're seeing them in who they really are and what they really can accomplish on the field.
Yeah.
So that's going to increase the value of the running backs, and running backs, these days in this game today in the NFL, they want to throw the ball, or the trend is to throw the ball more than you pass the ball. I mean, more than you run the ball. But I think that's going to come back to normal again in terms of the NFL. You have to be able to, if you're going to win, you have to win the championship, win the Lombardi Trophy. You have to be able to run the ball. Why? Because you want to keep the opposing offense off the field. You want to be able to control the clock, particularly when you're ahead. You don't want to give the ball back, and you have to be able to run the ball to do that. And what running the ball does, it helps set up the pass, play action. If you're not running the ball and you fake putting that ball in the stomach, the quarterback fakes putting the ball in the stomach of the running back, the linebackers aren't going to honor that at all if you haven't been running the ball. If you have been running the ball, whether you're getting yards or not, if you put that ball in the belly of the running back, the linebackers are going to pause because they have to honor it because what? You've been running the ball. And that creates separation between the linebackers and the defensive backs and creates those spaces in the middle of the field, in front of the DBs and behind the linebackers. So you have to be able to run the ball. And look at the Eagles. They were throwing the ball all over the place. Now they're running the ball like 40 times a game. Jalen Hurts is only throwing the ball. He doesn't throw the ball more than 30 times a game. He's throwing the ball like 22, 21 times a game because he doesn't have to, because they're running the ball.
You're absolutely right. And I think the NFL over the past few years have went through these phases of wanting to make the game more exciting with passing the ball. And the interesting thing, Irv, you make a great point with that, the fact that you have to run the ball to be more of a balanced offense to, in my opinion, and probably in our opinion, win a championship. But the thing is that at the same time, too, as an offensive coordinator, I have to be diligent and focus on what I can do best, or what my offensive unit does best. Now, the interesting thing about Saquon Barkley's position is that he wasn't as successful with the Giants as he is with the Eagles, simply because they have a better offensive line, and they can run the ball.
Yeah. Right.
So it helps the Eagles, and it helps Baltimore, because they have offensive linemen that can support good running backs.
Right.
And, these guys are possibly going to be great running backs. So inevitably, Mike, I think that sometimes when one team is successful in something, you kind of see it kind of trickle down and trickle to other teams. So I feel like the kid out of what's this, Sandy? No, it's not San Diego. It's the kid that's up for the Heisman, the running back.
That big kid.
The little stocky guy. You probably see him go high.
I can't see his face. I can't call his name.
Because when you look at a Saquon Barkley, he kind of reminds you of that type of guy. So a team that has a pretty good offensive line, they may want to take this guy because they have a pretty good offensive line. But I'm going to go with my news of the day, Mike. I'm right there with you. Uh, you know, it, it, Daniel Jones gets fired on his day off. And I know Irving said he has to be released, but that same week Saquon Barkley, sets Eagles franchise record, 255 yards rushing and over 300 yards total offense for him. Uh, the Giants are shrinking. The Giants are shrinking. When you think about the MVP, when you think about Coach of the Year, that should be an award for the worst team of the year, the worst organization of the year. And at one point, the Jets were like right there, and the Giants are like, no, we got this. So the Giants are over right now. It's almost like a sideshow. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was watching ESPN the other day, and come to find out that one of the executives from the Giants called ESPN and told them to stop talking about that.
I heard that. Yeah, I didn't really believe it. I said nobody's going to do that.
No
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
It's almost like being in a high school game and your mom getting on the mic and saying,
"Stop talking about my son."
Like, Mom, stop, don't do that. And can you imagine right now being a player on the Giants team and just seeing all of this just unfold, seeing the organization do what they do? Of course, Daniel Jones was doing what he does, and in my opinion, it's become a sideshow because they're starting DeVito over Locke.
Yeah.
And Locke, in my opinion, was that guy who was right there, to take over if Daniel Jones didn't do what he was supposed to do. But now, DeVito it's a sideshow now. I'm not sure
DeVito's got his ribs are hurt, so Locke might be starting against the Cowboys tomorrow.
But see, when you mention the Giants, what are they waiting on to blow up that whole thing and get started on the rebuild?
Listen,
what are they waiting on?
Blowing up now.
But what are they waiting on?
In the last 8 months, they lost their starting quarterback and their starting running back.
No, I'm talking about up top. I'm talking about
the Giants. No, well, I don't know.
I'm talking about up top. The GM. I'm talking about some of those guys.
Well, they're talking about that. They're talking about that too.
Yeah. Hey, the Jets stepped out there and got rid of their GM. Right. They got rid of their head coach. What the Giants waiting on? That's all.
Yeah. All right, Irv, what we got in the news, buddy?
Well, I'm going to stay with the same team as you all. Because they just it's bad. The Giants, I mean, they're 2-9. That's Mike, that sounds like a couple of teams we were on with New England when we had some bad, but we didn't have all that mess going on, players leaving, and we just were bad. That's all. We were just bad. So we know what that's like, but it's a debacle up there right now, and it's falling apart quickly. It's falling apart quickly, and they lost again this past week. Got beat pretty good. So Daniel Jones is gone. Tommy DeVito's in. They only have 45 yards in the first half, right? And then they had a total. Let me say it was a total of 245 yards total on Sunday, but most of it, or almost half of that, was in the fourth quarter when the game was out of hand. They were already whooped. I think they got 107 yards in the fourth quarter. So Malik Neighbors, this is my news. Malik Neighbors,
yes,
the rookie, and that's why I have an issue with this. Malik Neighbors, you're first of all, your team is 2-9. Okay, you're on a 6-game losing streak. You're rookie. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth. I don't care if you were a first-round draft choice. It doesn't matter. You're a rookie. You are a rookie. I know it's a mess. Keep your mouth shut. So Neighbors, he said, this is what he said. He said, first, he was asked, talking to the press after the game. I wrote all this down. He said, first and second quarter, he didn't say it like that. He said, first, second quarter, I didn't get the ball. Start getting targets at the end. I mean, I can't do nothing. Then he said, start getting the ball when it's 30-0. What do you want me to do? Then when he was asked why he wasn't getting the ball in the first half, he said, I don't know. Talk to Dabs about it. That's Dabo. Obviously, it ain't the QB. Same outcome when we had DJ at quarterback, Danny Jones. Take a look at it. It ain't the QB. Then he said, this team is soft. So I have a problem with that. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a rookie. As a
first
rookie,
of all.
you keep your mouth shut. And you
That
never
doesn't apply to this generation. That doesn't apply to this generation.
No, I know it does. They
That's
think
true.
it doesn't apply to them, and it doesn't apply to them because they do different. But it should apply to them. He's a rookie, and we're all from pretty much the same space and time during the NFL. We all played at the same time. But there's a certain amount of respect that you are supposed to give and a certain amount of humility that you're supposed to have. Doesn't matter if you're first round draft choice or not. As a rookie, you have an R on your back. You're a rookie, and you don't have space to say things like that about your team or teammates. You can talk to your mama about it. You can talk to your friends about it. But when you're in front of the press, you keep your mouth shut because all it does is it makes things worse. It just gives the press something else to talk about. Now, Neighbors, the first round draft choice, is unhappy. If you're unhappy, go to the front office and talk to the general manager, talk to the
GM,
talk to the GM, talk to the owner, and say you want out of there if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I'm sure,
right.
and I'm sure that his numbers are being affected. I mean, he had 6 catches. He eventually got 6 catches in that game. I'm sure his numbers are being affected. But you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's all.
Not everybody can be at the top all the time. And who knows what can happen with that team. They can turn around or he can get traded, go somewhere else. You never know what's going to happen. Keep your rookie. Keep your mouth shut. He is out of line. I'm disappointed in him. He's a great player. He's been an example of how you come into the league as a rookie and not dominate, but he's been an asset to that team. He's been almost to the point where he's a go-to guy, bailing Daniel Jones out of trouble sometimes, making great catches.
Yeah.
But to me, this is just something, a character flaw that leads me to believe that he's a little bit selfish.
Well, I think you have to look at it, and I'm not all, but from a standpoint of having the ability that he has, you have to understand the frustration. But
I understand the frustration, but he's a rookie.
Hold up. Okay.
He's a rookie.
I know that. I know he's a rookie. I know
he's a rookie.
But you're absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time too, that's as you mentioned, that's something that you have to try to compartmentalize and exhaust somewhere else, and not with the media, because the media takes it and creates a whole nother monster, and you are part of that as a rookie, which is not the thing to do. And it's very unfortunate because he could be a great player, and the one thing that's important for him is to know that in the NFL, it's not going to be always gravy. It's not going to be fireworks every Sunday. It's not going to be fireworks every season. They could turn this thing around in 2 years, and next thing you know, he's catching 10 balls a game.
That ain't gonna happen.
But
that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Just like Dallas ain't gonna turn it around in 2 years. That ain't gonna happen.
But you don't want the organization looking at you like, okay, we know not to screw up with this guy because he's basically throwing us under the bus here. But you're just going through a hard time right now, and it is what it is. As my wife, she says she hates that term all the time. It is what it is.
But it is.
But all right, and that is what it is. All right, we are on to the top wide receiver of the week. I will start with my guy, and he had a pretty good game, and that is Addison from Minnesota. He had 8 catches, had 162 yards, a touchdown. His longest was 69 yards. And the interesting thing about it, I watch Minnesota, and I see Sam Darnold doing his thing. Now, interestingly, if I'm not mistaken, J.J. McCarthy was going to be the starter before he got injured, correct? And I just got this weird feeling that McCarthy would not have brought them this far. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just feel like Donald has done them a great service in bringing them this far, and of course, it looks like they're going to be a playoff team. Addison, interestingly, is not doing as well as he did last year. Right now, he's 41st overall in terms of stats for wide receivers, just 32 catches, 521 yards, and just 4 touchdowns. But this weekend, he had 8, as I mentioned, for 162 and a touchdown, and had the longest at 69. So he did a great job this weekend in the win. But that's my wide out of the week. Irv, who you got?
Irv, who you got? My wide receiver of the week is one of your favorites, Fred. And for not because he caught a whole lot of balls, the team didn't even win. But my receiver of the week is Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua. Yeah. Obviously, he got beat handily by the Philadelphia Eagles in their own stadium. But he had 9 receptions for 117 yards and no touchdowns. Now, the reason why he is my receiver of the week is, I mean, he's a big guy, 6'2", 212. Week 1, remember, he had that serious knee injury. And he was out. Sunday was only his 5th game that he played this season. He's got 37 receptions so far, 490 yards, and only 1 TD. But this past week was his best performance, and it was against the Eagles. He's averaging, now since that injury, he's coming back during the season, coming back. And since then, he's averaging 8 receptions for 111 yards in 4 out of the last 5 games, or 4 out of 5 games this season. He's only played 5 games so far. And what I admire about him, he's big, he's tough. Now, I watched him in this game because I was watching the Eagles game, obviously, but he's big, he's tough. I didn't recognize that last year, or I didn't see that in him last year because I didn't pay that much attention to him. He's a big guy, he's physical, he's tough, he's got strong hands, and it's just a great bounce back for him. Now, he did something yesterday that no other receiver, at least that the Eagles have played, has done this year. Quinyon Mitchell is being touted as one of the rookies of the year. Quinyon going into that game last week with the Rams, he's the only corner in the league that had, I think it's 370-plus snaps and no touchdowns thrown on him. No touchdowns. And Puka caught a touchdown on him yesterday. Just bullied him, bodied him up, got in front of him, and caught one of those skinny posts right in front of him. Caught a couple other passes on Quinyon as well. And Quinyon was not able to handle him the way Quinyon's been handling receivers. I mean, he shut, which calmed down, McLaurin last week.
McLaurin, yeah.
He shut McLaurin down. Scary Terry.
Terry was not scary.
The prior 10 games that he played against the Eagles, he had great games. 58 catches, 847 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 10 games against the Eagles. He had 1 catch. 1 catch, and he likes to line up on the left side, which is Quinyon Mitchell's side, but he was never targeted over there. He was targeted twice when he was lined up on the right, and he caught the 1 pass on Cooper DeJean. Quinyon Mitchell shut Terry McLaurin down. Shut him down. And quarterbacks aren't even throwing the ball. You look at some of the tape, quarterbacks aren't even throwing the ball to Quinyon Mitchell's side. And here is Puka Nacua just having his way with him. So I was impressed this past weekend with Puka Nacua, and given the fact that he had the injury at the beginning of the year and he's come back, he's only played 5 games, but he's balling. He's still the legitimate threat that he always was when he stepped into the league. And he looks even more determined. Yeah, he looks even more determined and more ready and more competitive than he ever has since he came into the league, which is only just last year. Puka Nacua.
You're right, Herb.
At BYU.
Barring injury, Puka probably will go down as one of the best. I mean, as you mentioned, he came in first year and was just
balling,
lit it up like crazy. It's amazing. Mike, before we go any further,
yes, sir.
Speaking of Terry McLaurin, didn't one of us say that the Cowboys would beat the Commanders?
Who said that?
No.
Did I? Well, I wasn't on last week, so.
No. It was like 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the Commanders.
I said the Commanders. I said the Commanders would win. The Commanders would win.
No.
Who? You talking about me?
We were talking about. No. Hold up.
Say it, man. Spit it out.
2 weeks
Well, help us
ago,
out.
well, both of y'all talking. 2 weeks ago, I was telling y'all that the Commanders really were not who they thought they were. And I said, watch the Cowboys beat the Commanders.
Oh, he's patting himself on the back. Okay, we got you.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
well, you know, here at Wow, we give credit where credit is due. If you said that,
Okay.
our hats off to you.
I'm gonna go back and check it out.
Thank
It's on
you.
tape. It's on tape,
Thank you.
Mike. I gotta go back and check it out.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it to our attention. But
It's
we
recorded.
don't mind giving you props. I certainly don't mind giving you props.
Listen,
Commanders hadn't played anybody. All right.
the Commanders
I
have
thought-
not been the same since they lost that last minute game to Pittsburgh. They lost that game to Pittsburgh, then they went to Philadelphia and got beat. Then Dallas whooped up on them. They haven't been the same.
Yeah.
Before that,
They
they
hurt a little
really
bit.
hadn't played.
Something's
anybody.
Yeah,
wrong.
they haven't been the same. That Pittsburgh
Anyway,
game
Mike-
took something out of them.
And it revealed them. Mike, top wide out.
Okay.
Talk to us.
Wide out of the week. Here's a name that we haven't mentioned a lot, but I think it's worth noting. My wide receiver for this week is a gentleman from out of Denver, Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton, the 7-5 Denver Broncos. They're hitting a little wave here, and it'll be interesting to watch. I talked about him a little bit last week. He winded up with 8 catches for 97 yards, 2 tutties, as they call them now. 2 tutties.
Who calls them tutties? What are tutties?
They call them tutties. That's short for touchdowns.
Who is they?
You got to
Hey,
understand.
Who is
They-
the- who
they
is
is
they?
them.
Who is them?
You guys have never heard them say tutty?
Nah, man. You know what?
Y'all need to get out
first
more.
time
Y'all
I've
need to
heard
They
get out
talk.
more.
You know what? The rookies talk too much. That's what it is.
I'm telling you, they call
Rookies
it tutty.
talk too much. They talk too much. Tutties.
Google it. Y'all need to get out more.
All right.
But anyway,
I mean, I believe you.
I'm fine where I am.
They won against the Raiders. These are the same Raiders now that beat the Browns, also the same Raiders that beat the Ravens. And so you're talking about a 6'4" wide receiver, 216 pounds. He has 57 receptions for 744 yards and 5 TDs. Now, he's had 5 straight games that he's recorded at least 70 yards. Doesn't seem like a big number, but at least 70 yards. So I'll give you some stats real quick. He's been consistent, and they're winning. His last game, 8 for 97. Prior to that, 7 for 78, 6 for 70, 10 for 122, 8 for 100. I mean, he's just consistent, and they're winning with the rookie quarterback. And he's in his 6th year as a wideout, and so they're doing some good things. I thought it was worth noting. Now, we'll get a chance to see him this Monday night.
Yeah, Bo
against
Nix.
Cleveland.
Bo Nix.
We'll get a chance to see him this Monday night against Cleveland to see if they're for real. But they're doing okay. So we'll give props where props is due. So Cortland Sutton is my wide receiver of the week.
Cortland Sutton.
Look who's on. Look who's on right now. He
on?
said Tutty is
Richard
definitely a
Wells
reference
and-
to a TD. Okay, well, fine.
Oh, we know that.
Y'all
said Tutty.
Tutty on down the road. How about
Figure
that?
that out, Richard.
Tutty on down the road. What's up, Richard?
Hey, when you
Florence
Florence
Oakman is in the house. Neil Mascari
two tutties.
is in the house. Vincent Capriati's in the house. Billy Bell
one
is in the
tutty.
house. We got a whole bunch of people. Scott Teller is in the house. What's going on, bro?
Scott T.
Shout out to all of you.
What's up, Scott?
Holly
So-
Golightly's still around. She's still here. Holly's still around. She said, I feel a bet.
What's
What
up,
bet on
Holly?
what? What you gonna bet on? Holly, what you gonna bet on? He said, I feel a bet. Boy.
All right.
All right, we are on to our surprise. You know what? I'll go first with the surprise because oh my.
Uh-oh.
Are
let
you
me
really
tell you
surprised? Well, you setting it up pretty good there,
Oh
Fred.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
You setting it up pretty good.
If you are a lot better than the Cleveland Browns, if you getting ready to play the Cleveland Browns and you are a lot better than they are, get ready. Because Jameis Winston, he's going to do his prayer. He's going to breathe. He's going to do this heavy breathing. And he's going to throw out some scripture. And the Lord himself is going to play in that game with us. And you're going to have a few angels making a few tackles. You may have Jesus coming in on the third quarter and catch a few. You can't beat this guy when he does that prayer thing. I mean, it is not when you look at the numbers, there's nothing crazy. He was 21 for 28, 270 yards, which is not bad. A touchdown. Receiving yards were spread out, but Austin had I'm sorry. Let me back up. That's Wilson. That was 21 for 28, 270 yards, 100. They had 120 yards rushing, and that was spread out amongst the running backs. And Austin from the Pittsburgh Steelers had 78 yards. Now Winston, just 219 yards, 85 yards rushing. I mean, you're talking about David and Goliath here, 85-yard rushing. And I have to give credit to Jerry Jeudy, who came up with some huge catches. He was 6 for 85, but he came up with some big catches in this game, some timely catches in this game that, and I'm sitting there watching this game, and all of a sudden you couldn't even see there's snow everywhere. And it was just the way Winston planned it. He was like, snow, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. I mean, and this guy was just laying it out, and boom, there it was. They won. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no way I would have thought that they would beat Pittsburgh, and they did.
Fred, do you remember we talked about that? Fred and I talked about that, and I was not real. I wanted to pick him, but I went with Tomlin, and I said, you know what? I believe in Tomlin. But we talked about it. We said we will not be surprised because won against Cleveland, particularly on a Thursday night in Cleveland. And sure enough, doggone it, boy, I'm sitting here watching the game, and here it goes. And they had their number. So it was a great game. But like you said, Fred, I agree. When he's on like that and everybody's believing him, gosh, sky's the limit. So it was fun to watch.
It's not pretty at all. It's not pretty at all.
No, but it's effective.
It's effective, and it works. And it works. Irv, talk to me about your surprise, brother.
Okay, I'm surprised I'm still hearing those tree frogs in the back of your in your room over there. I thought you said it was cold and they was dead.
No, it warmed up a little. They warmed up a little. They back.
All that squeak. For those of you who are watching right now, if you hear that squeaking and chirping, and that's tree frogs where Fred lives. We'll get rid of those things. Can you call them an exterminator?
Oh, they're everywhere.
It's probably illegal. It's probably illegal. They're probably an island fixture.
Interesting.
Y'all remember the mosquito man used to come around when we were kids? Y'all ever had this mosquito man drive the truck and spray that stuff in the street?
Spring.
Mike, you might not have had that down there in Florida. We had that mosquito man up here. You need to call the mosquito man, to have him come and spray. Get rid of them
mosquito
bugs,
man.
Them doggone frogs, because they're messing up the show. Anyway.
And what's your surprise?
You got distracted.
I didn't get.
Oh, you got distracted.
Are you filibustering? Are you filibustering, Irv? You got something or not?
Yeah, I got something right here, man.
Oh, he got something.
See, this stuff on the paper right there. See.
Oh, there it is. Woo.
I ain't filibustering. I just thought I'd mention I'm trying to push Fred in the right direction so we can get this thing straight. That's all. If I need to do it live in front of the audience, then I'll do it live in front of the audience. Anyway, my surprise of the week is not a good surprise. It is a surprise, but it's a bad surprise. I mean, depending on whose team you're on. But Brandon Graham tore his tricep. And after being in the league, this is his 15th year. He thought about retiring during the offseason, but they asked him back, and he came back. And they weren't really planning on playing him as much as he's playing right now, or as he was playing. But he was having a phenomenal year. And so he was playing a little bit more, or I should say a lot more, than they had planned on playing him. I mean, even in this game last week, he was killing it against the Rams. In the game, he had 2 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, 3 QB hits, and 1 pass breakup. He was rolling. He's 36 years old. He was trying to finish his career. He's the only one. He's had the longest tenure as a player with the Philadelphia Eagles. 15 years. He played his whole career with the Eagles. This would have been his last year, and possibly we saw him play in his last game this past weekend with this tricep tear. He needs to have surgery. He was dealing with some tendonitis in his triceps, and he ended up tearing. He got blocked. I think he said he got hit in his elbow, and it tore his tricep. So 76 and a half career sacks. That's third in Eagles franchise history, not including the strip sack that he had in Super Bowl 52 to help the Eagles win the game, the Super Bowl against the Patriots, Tom Brady and the Patriots, which got them their first and only Lombardi trophy. So my surprise of the week is Brandon Graham. I know him. I gave him a text to encourage him. He was on WIP this week, and he was talking about his injury, and he broke down. He started crying on WIP because he's a beloved here in Philadelphia. Again, 15 years. This was his 15th year. He's 36 years old, the longest tenure of any player in Eagles history, franchise history. And he's out now. He's out for the rest of the season. Hopefully, prayerfully, he'll be back, but more than likely, we probably haven't seen. We will never see him on the football field playing in the uniform again.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Now that was it.
Mike.
You said it's pec. You said it's pec
Tricep.
Was it towards pec, tricep?
Tricep. Tricep.
All right. So my surprise, and ironically, I'm in Texas visiting family, and I have one brother that lives in Houston, so I'm driving through Houston to see him today, and I see some signs up regarding the Houston Texans. So ironically, my surprise is the Houston Texans. What is wrong with Houston?
Yeah.
And the old saying,
Houston, we have a problem.
we got a problem.
We have a problem.
Houston, we got a problem.
We got a problem. Let's see. Let's start here. Their last 5 games. One loss, one loss. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them. This last one, they lost against the Titans. Now, everybody thought the Titans are dead, but they lost. Houston lost to them 32-27.
Wow.
We'll start at the quarterback. He was 20 for 33 for 247 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. But he got sacked 4 times. Now, here's the problem. He's getting sacked a lot. Now, let's go to this game, sacked 4 times. The game prior to against the Cowboys, 1 sack. The Lions sacked him 4 times. The Jets sacked him 8 times. Houston, we got a problem. They're 2-4. They're 2-4. Over the last 6 games, they're 2-4. Now, here's the thing. He's had 5 INTs. This is the quarterback, Stroud. He's had 5 INTs the last 3 games, 9 total. He's had 5 last year as a rookie. He only had 5 last year as a rookie. Second game back with Nico Collins being back. Now, year 2 for Stroud. Did we anoint him too soon? Now, put a pin there. But here's the problem. Did we anoint him too soon? But where's the defense? Yeah. This is a top-ranked defense that somehow, when it's going down the stretch, they're letting them down. That defense, it's a top 5 defense in terms of yards allowed. Number 2 in sacks. Number 3 in turnovers. Number 5 passing yards allowed. Number 10 rushing allowed. Number 8 receiving allowed. That's a good defense. Houston, what's the problem?
Florence said need a new coach. Florence said need a new coach.
Really?
That's what Florence said. She said need a new
coach.
God.
She want to get rid of him this quick? Wait a minute. Time out. He was celebrated last year, and now you want to run him out of town, Florence? Really?
Florence said need a new coach.
Florence said they need a new coach.
What have you done for me lately?
But you know what, Mike? I mean, I don't necessarily agree that the coach should be fired this quickly, but
no.
But now, when you have talent like that, you have cats on your team who can play, and you know they can play. And for some reason, things are not being productive. They're not producing, whether it's offensively or defensively. You got to look at the coaches. You have to look at the coaches. Because listen, there's an old saying that there's very little that you can do to to improve a great athlete. There's very little you can do to improve or make a great athlete greater. There's very little you can do, but there's a whole lot you can do to
what's
mess
the other
them up.
saying?
There's a
They
whole
say
lot you can do to
either
mess them up.
coaching it, you're either coaching it or you're allowing it.
Allowing
to
it, yeah. But
Yeah.
but the other side of that saying that I was going to finish was that there's very little you can do to improve him, but there's a whole lot you can do to mess him up.
Mess him up.
Okay.
We got it. Yeah.
So if the coaches aren't coaching right, doing their job, sticking with it, recognizing what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong for individual athletes on that team, then no, they're not going to be productive.
Yeah.
Right now, they're not playing well, so they're going to hit a stretch. They're going to hit a stretch here a little bit. They better start playing well, or they're going to be sitting home. So
Almost sounds like the Eagles
Sitting at
last year,
home.
where they were doing okay,
Started to
playing
fall
okay.
off.
Yeah, there were issues, but then they fell off the side of the
They
earth,
fell off.
and that was coaching last year. That offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, they sucked. They were terrible.
I mean, based on what we said, and the fact that they have talent. I mean, we know they have talent.
Right,
Added
right.
Nixon. We probably, I think we
Florence could be
almost
right.
certain.
Florence could be
No.
right.
No, I think that there could be some coordinators. that
Florence could be
I
right.
don't know if head coach ain't going nowhere.
I know New York
Head
needs a
coach
new
ain't going
coach. The Giants need a new coach.
Man, anybody can coach a Giant.
Right now.
Game of the week, and we chose Philly, Baltimore. I think this is gonna be a good one, guys. And I'm gonna just throw out just a few stats, and then I'm gonna let y'all have at it. Philly actually at Baltimore. And interestingly, Philly is number one in total defense, giving up just 274 yards and giving up 18 points. Baltimore is 25th total defense, giving up 355 and 24 points.
That's because of their secondary, though.
Baltimore is first in total offense, putting up 426 yards, 30 points. Philly, third in total offense, putting up 26 points with 389 yards. And if you think about those numbers, it's like they're so evenly matched. It's going to be interesting. Of course, being an Eagles fan and a former Eagle, I'm hoping Lamar have one of his games where he just kind of frustrates the hell out of everybody and not win. But this should be a great game. Mike, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to this game because it's going to tell me a lot. Because remember, I had said from day one, the Eagles in terms of managing expectations. The biggest plus this year, obviously, it goes without saying that they have Saquon Barkley. But I'm still not convinced, guys, that if the game is on the line and they're depending on Hurts to deliver, I'm not sold on that yet. If these Baltimore Ravens play like they're capable of playing and shut down the run, and Hurts has to put the team on his back, I'm not convinced yet. This game may convince me. So I'm still going to go with the Ravens. I just think that two-headed monster. I don't think the Eagles have seen this, and I just think that the Eagles are a front runner. If they get behind and start pressing, and they can't run like they normally have run, I think you'll see a different type of ball game. So I'm interested to see it, but I'm open to the Eagles showing me something. I just don't. I'm not convinced yet, but we'll see.
And also, a little bit before you go, we got the first and second best running backs in terms of numbers, in terms of statistics in the league right now, with Saquon with a little over 13, and right behind him, Baltimore's running back. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Irv, what do you think?
Like Mike said, well, like you said, statistically, you got 1 and 2. The bet right now, I mean, most of the season up until just recently, Henry was leading the pack in terms of running backs.
Yep.
Now Barkley's number 1 and Henry's number 2. But it's going to come down to, like you said, Mike, who has the best quarterback, running back duo, who is able to perform when the game is on the line. It's funny you say that, Michael. It's not funny. It's ironic you say that about Jalen, because that's been one of the big talks this week with WIP and the sports broadcasters world here in this area, up in this area, they've been talking about, well, yeah, Saquon's been running the ball. He's been great. The team has been running the ball. Jalen's been doing a great job of managing what he needs to manage in terms of the offense. And it's safe for him because he doesn't have to make plays necessarily because they're running the ball so well. Will he be able to shoot it out with another quarterback? Will he be able to throw the ball down the field when he has to and make plays through the air when he has to, if the game is on the line or they're in a shootout with another quarterback? And that's a possibility this week where the running game may not be as effective as it's been in this 7-game winning streak that they've been on. And Saquon may not get 255 yards like he did last week, and Jalen may have to throw the ball. Now
you mentioned 7 games, Irv. Let me give you a stat, and you can keep on going. 5 of their 7 wins were against teams below 500.
Of course.
5 of their 7 wins, teams below 500.
And that's where I'm going with this, that this is their biggest test of the year. This will be will give us all, the NFL, sports world, will give us all a better picture of who the Philadelphia Eagles really are this year.
Yeah.
Are they what they look like, or are they not? Now, you can run the ball. Here's the telltale. Here's what's going to be the telltale. You can run the ball. Teams can run the ball. If you watched the Rams game last week, the Rams moved the ball on the Eagles, particularly on the ground, with ease. Yeah. They just didn't get into the end zone. The kicker was jacking things up as well. But they were moving the ball. Their first 2 or 3 possessions, they went up down the doggone field. And they were running the ball and having some big clips, some big runs, 14, 15-yard runs. So you can run the ball on the Eagles, but the Ravens are holding running backs to 3.3 yards per carry this year. They're second in the league when it comes to holding running backs in terms of the average, 3.3 yards a carry for running backs this year. So they're stopping the run. Now, again, the issue, the challenge, and that's why they're rated so low, is in their secondary. You can throw the ball on them. So is Philadelphia not abandon the run? Not will they abandon the run, but will they throw the ball,
adjust,
and take advantage of the weak spot or the weak place or the weak part of their defense, which is their secondary.
Stop playing man to man and putting those guys on the island.
Well,
and you better. That's what they keep doing.
Well, they better not play man. They better not play man to man against the receivers that the Eagles have. But the question is, like you said, Mike, and like everybody else is saying up in this area, can Jalen make those plays when he has to? Now, he's been throwing the ball great, but he hasn't been in a situation where he had to throw the ball down the field to score points, to win the game. So we'll see. I'm going to the game. I'll be there. It's going to be cold. I just got me a new jacket with some heaters and stuff in it, man. I got me some gloves with some heaters in it and stuff, and some things to put in my shoes. So I'm going to be in the stadium. I'm going to be in the stadium.
Well, to further your point, you guys' point, Baltimore's giving up 277 yards a game in the air.
In the air.
And in the air. And only giving up 77 yards rushing.
On the ground. Right.
So that will, I think, make it very, very interesting, and see if Jalen Hurts, if they, of course, with their defense, their run defense, start to put up a wall. If Jalen Hurts could, make that adjustment and start getting the ball down the field, maybe come up with a 300+ yard.
But I also, Fred,
and Mike, that's where Mike mentioned, can he manage those expectations? And the thing is that he got the receivers to do it.
Yeah.
Is it up to, well, it is up to him to, get the ball down the field. Go ahead.
The other factor is this. The Ravens, and I'm not saying this to pat the Eagles on the back, but the Ravens haven't played against, the Ravens defensive front hasn't played against an offensive line that has the quality and the level of play that the Eagles have been able to produce with their offensive line. This will be the best offensive line that the Ravens will have played against defensively. So
that's true.
It's going to, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be I think it should be a great game for both teams. Because if the Ravens beat the Eagles, then that's a feather in their cap because they had a couple of slips in the past few weeks where they let games get away. And if the Eagles beat the Ravens, then that's just going to validate the Eagles this season to let people know that, we're for real. We're for real. What you see is what you get.
We just had an interesting comment with Keenan Harmon. He said the Eagles' O-line is better than their D-line.
Yeah.
The Eagles' D-line is better than their O-line. And he thinks the Eagles will win in a close one. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be it should be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
It should be a pretty good
It
game.
should be a good game.
Mike, what are our stats, Mike?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, this was a rough one last week. Man, this is a rough one. Brother man, okay.
I called it. I texted and gave you my picks even after.
You did.
Yeah. Even after Pittsburgh lost.
All right. We're my cheaters. Okay. All right. Last week, Cleveland just surprised all of us.
Fred?
They beat up on Pittsburgh. Baltimore and the Chargers.
Lost that.
You and Irv. No, you guys won that one. You guys, the Baltimore won. I lost. I picked the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Philly and the Rams. I went out on the limb and picked the Rams. They started out good, like you said, Irv, and then they wasn't
scoring.
Yeah,
they were moving the ball, but they weren't scoring.
Right. So you and Fred
Mike,
both Irv. Oh, I'm way behind. You and Fred both were 2-1 last week. I was 0 for 3.
Oh,
I was 0 for 3.
That's the first time somebody
ugly.
went. That's the first time this year that any one of us went 0 for.
Ugly.
Yeah, in the week.
Ugly.
Wow.
It was really ugly. So yeah. So our scores are Irv, you're in the lead at 26-13. Fred, you're 25-14. I'm bringing up the rear, 22-17.
Wow.
Proudly.
See, eventually,
Mike,
the cream rises to the top.
We're gonna pull up.
Because I was last at one point.
We're gonna pull a Daniel Jones with Michael. We're gonna have to let you go.
Because it was
for
rough
3.
last
Oh
week,
my
boy.
gosh.
Yeah, man. I was like, good gracious.
Wow.
So here we go. We got Thursday Miami at Green Bay. We got Sunday San Francisco at the Bills.
Whoa. We got 3 Thursday games.
Thursday night.
We got 3 Thursday games.
Okay.
It's Thanksgiving.
And
at one point, if
we want to do it that way,
we got 3 Thursday games.
Okay.
It's Thanksgiving.
I know we got 3 Thursday games, but don't make me punch this.
We don't normally have 3 Thursday games. It's 3 Thursday games.
Okay. Irv, why don't you tell him to just make a pick? We're not going to stay on it. He's right. Fred is right that our main game is our Thursday night game.
But it's Thanksgiving. Stop taking Fred's side.
But he says it's Thanksgiving, Fred, so he would like for you to just make a pick on those other ones. Yeah. Bears at the Lions, Fred. Go with that one first.
Thursday.
Bears at the Lions. Yes,
Bears
sir.
at the Lions.
Because that's the first game.
I went
game.
Thursday night game since we would, that I didn't get the memo on there. How about that?
Just pick the Bears and Lions. Which one you want, the Bears or the Lions? Make a pick.
Are you serious? The Lions.
Make a decision.
That's easy. What about you, Irv?
Who's going
I'm taking
the Bears over the Lions?
Listen, this will be the first Thanksgiving ever that I watched the Lions.
Oh, okay.
Because the Lions have never been watchable. I know last year I didn't watch them. They were pretty good last year, but I'm taking the Lions.
All right, that's a sweep. Okay, Lions. Giants at Cowboys, Fred.
Who?
Fred.
I don't even know who's
Giants.
Besides
Giants at
Giants
Cowboys.
and Cowboys.
Giants at
the Cowboys all the way. How about
Wait. This is great. I can't wait to Irv, because Irv told us, Fred, that he would never pick the Cowboys.
I know.
He would never pick the Cowboys.
So he can't pick.
But I got it. But listen, I value my lead. I value my lead.
No, your word is your bond.
But I value my lead. All right, I'm gonna take the Giants. No, I'm gonna take the Giants. Give me the Giants.
You know what? I swear to you, I was just about to say.
Give me the Giants. No, give me the Giants because I'm not. That's right. I can't. Give me the Giants. Doggone
Okay.
it. Give me the Giants.
To the Giants.
The Cowboys are that bad. Give me the Giants.
The Cowboys are that
Okay.
Their
bad.
special teams, they're special. Oh my goodness.
And you got a little
Mike,
cushion, Herb. You got a little cushion, so
I got
you can afford.
I got
a little
one
bit.
game
You got
cushion. One
You
game.
got one game cushion.
One
So
game,
Miami,
little
Green
cushion.
Bay, I got Green Bay, of course. I think and Miami is at Green Bay, so I got Green Bay. Mike, who you rolling with?
The Dolphins have not won in Lambeau since 2010. The wind chill is supposed to be
Yes.
10 degrees.
There you go.
10
Yep.
degrees.
Yep.
I don't care how much you go out there with your shirts off.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
cold. Okay,
It's
so
cold.
I'm going with Green Bay.
And I agree with you, Mike, because I did the research. The same thing. The wind chill gonna be 10 degrees. Last year was it January 7th? They went up to Buffalo. Miami went up to Buffalo to play Buffalo, and it was cold up in Buffalo. And they looked like they were not the team that was playing during the regular season, putting up all them points and putting up all those yards. They did not play well and do not play well in the cold. It's going to be cold in Lambeau Field, and the Dolphins are going to lose. I'm taking the Packers.
Okay.
That's a
So
tough
we
place to play. Yeah. Go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry.
All right. We also have what
Uh-oh, this is the one that that Richard wants us to
Stanford.
talk about.
what's that?
Did you do the game of the week? We're good with the game of the week, everybody?
We did get.
I know you guys are going Eagles. You guys are doing Eagles.
But that's not a point. That's not in our.
We don't pick
That's
the game of the week. We just talk about the game of the
We don't
week.
pick the game of the week.
No,
We
I
talk
know,
about the game
I
of the
know.
week.
I
So
know,
we
but
got
it's always
San
good to get
Francisco. San Francisco at the Bills. There's no way San Francisco gonna beat Buffalo Bills. And they're talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is like number one or two in the MVP running with Lamar
Yeah, he's
Jackson at this
yep.
point.
Yeah. Well, they have him ahead of Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
particularly because of that run that he made, the big TD run
Yeah.
last week. So,
It's gonna be a meltdown. He's gonna melt down.
but you think he's
Richard,
gonna fall? He's gonna get a long run and fall down again?
Meltdown.
No, that was Danny
It won't
Jones.
be. It won't be this week, though. It won't be this week.
No,
What be
no.
this week?
It's going to be
They'll beat
cold.
San Francisco.
It's going to be cold. 49. I mean, I know it gets cold out there with the 40 in San Francisco. It gets cold, but they got
Not
to
like
travel
this.
across the country. Yeah, and the 49ers they're just not the 49ers right now.
There you go.
They're just not the 49ers. I don't think Purdy's going to be back.
Right.
It's a slight possibility he will, but I doubt it. And without him, they're not going to, they're not.
And would somebody
gonna
tell
do
these backup quarterbacks,
Brandon Allen.
because they're too busy. They're too busy making commercials, hanging pictures and everything. They got backup quarterbacks now taking commercials.
What? Wow.
Every time I see a backup quarterback gets hit, it's like shock. It's like, oh, they hit me. I can't. I'm still seeing this, and
Well,
I just laugh because I'm like, come on, it's football.
Brandon Allen was only able to put up 10 points last week. Shanahan's team
All right.
is not what it used to be.
So Mike, who you got? San Francisco
Browns
Bills?
it's a sweep. That's a sweep. We're all going with the Bills. Tell
I
Richard
thought
to
you
keep his
said
shirt
San
on. We
Francisco.
all going with the Bills. Browns
And now-
Browns at Broncos.
And now the Browns. In the
What you going with? You going with the Browns?
I'm scared of Winston, man. Winston
You
got
scared
he's
of
too
Winston.
spiritual, man. He got too much. He got too much Holy Ghost, man.
He ain't the only
Man,
Christian on the field.
I got to go with Denver, man. I got to go with Denver.
Oh,
That's-
you
that's-
switched
I
up.
don't think Browns can beat Denver.
I think
Denver is not as good as the Browns. If Denver was real good, I'll go with the Browns. But Denver is like right there. So I'm going with Denver.
I think
right.
that whole what's going on with Winston and all, just that whole Pittsburgh thing was an anomaly. Just everything fell in place. It was just one of those things.
fell in place.
That's all. I mean, the snow and all. Man, that was just crazy. When I woke up the next day and saw the latter part of that game and all that snow on the ground, I'm like, what in the world? It was just an anomaly. That's all. I'm going with the Broncos. I'm going to Broncos.
That's a sweep. That's a sweep there.
It was an anomaly. It wasn't Jesus. It was an anomaly. Jesus.
Don't let Winston. Don't say that to Winston.
I'm saying it. Hopefully he heard it.
All right.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Pastor Irv. No, it wasn't.
Giants gonna
All
beat
right,
Dallas.
we got
Watch.
this picked in?
Giants going to beat Dallas. Giants going to beat Dallas.
Giants gonna beat Dallas. Yeah, look at
Giants going to beat Dallas.
and trust me, Irv, that will be Jesus.
Yes, there will be Jesus. And trust me, I will be here at home praying. You think Jameis Winston prayed? I'm going to be here praying, Doc, calling all angels from heaven. Calling all the angels.
Well, I know we all have a great Turkey Day. I just hope it's a good game.
Yes.
Because, sometimes you get a Turkey Day and you have some duds. So hopefully we just have some good games.
Well, that's what I said for the first time. Well, I wouldn't watch the games unless I thought it was going to be a good game. It didn't matter who was playing on Thanksgiving. If it wasn't someone who was competing, if it wasn't someone, particularly like I said in the past with Detroit, I wouldn't watch those games. And they're always the first game. Now they've had a third game. For years it was just Detroit and then Dallas in the afternoon. Now they've added a night game. So I'm going to watch that Green Bay game.
This Bears and Lions, I was with the Bears when we played the Lions on a Turkey Day. And boy, doggone Barry Sanders had us spinning in the circle, our defensive player.
Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Oh, it was ugly. So,
oh my.
Good game. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Well,
all right.
That is our show for tonight.
Well,
I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And
let me shout out to everybody. Can I shout out to everybody?
Irv, give a shout out, Irv, to everybody who's joined us. Appreciate you guys watching, tuning in.
Richard Melton had a question. He said, what are your thoughts on the Miami linebacker being reinstated or not at this point in the season? Richard Melton asked that question. He said, "Y'all keep
that wasn't the Miami player."
Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking. I thought maybe y'all knew about it. I don't.
You sure it's a Miami player, Richard?
It wasn't a Miami player.
I'll come back to you, Richard. Shout out to Billy Bell. He says, "Happy Thanksgiving to you." When I shout your name out, we're actually saying Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. So I'm going to shout all of you out. All right, Richard Melton, Keenan Harmon, Holly Golightly, still in the house. Eddie Casper in the house. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Keenan Hammond, I said Eddie Casper, Billy Bell, Keenan Harmon, Florence Oakman. Shout out to you, Richard Melton, Billy Bell, Florence. Okay, I'm repeating names now. There's so many comments tonight. Neil Mascari, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, my brother. He said happy Thanksgiving, fellas. Vincent Capriati. Vinny Capriati says happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, brother. Scott Teller, happy Thanksgiving to you too as well. Erlene Barnett, happy Thanksgiving to you. Mama, happy Thanksgiving, Mama. I won't see you on Thanksgiving, but I'm going to call you and FaceTime you. I'm going to be down in Georgia with my other family, with Serena and her mama. Augusta, Georgia. I'm going to meet my wife. She's down with her mother, and we're going to go have Thanksgiving down there. Sean Worth, I got to get on the plane 6 o'clock in the morning, fellas. Sean Worth.
Too much information. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Shout out to you. OGs. Hope Wiley. What's the matter?
Nothing, man. We just having a good time.
I'm just sharing. I'm sharing.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Stu Winrow is in the house. I didn't miss Stu. Hey, Stu, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. All right, Fred, take it away, bro. You got it.
All right, guys. Thanks again we have a great show. Appreciate you guys. Of course, love you guys, and we hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Praying for all you.
Be thankful.
Praying for your mom, Irv. Praying for everybody. And we will see you guys next week. We are out at Wide Out's World. Mike, learn how to do that, Mike.
There you go.
Catch you guys later. Oh, catch you guys later. Catch.
This has been Whiteout's World.
Touchdown.
Not one, not two, but three NFL legends. Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Are you freaking kidding me? If it's football talk you're looking for, I think we've got you covered. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on YouTube at Wideout's World. See you next time.
Let's go. Let's go. Go.